The moment the words, "You just can't afford this," broke, sliced through the air, John Neely Kennedy felt the sting deep in his chest, a humiliation so sharp it nearly knocked the breath from his lungs. The real estate agent, a polished woman named Claire with a sharp pink blazer and an even sharper tongue, stood in the opulent lobby of the mansion, her pointed finger aimed at him like a weapon. John, a man in his late 50s with graying hair and a quiet demeanor, adjusted his glasses and straightened his slightly worn suit, trying to maintain some semblance of dignity. He had come to view the property not out of curiosity, but out of a desperate hope, a hope that this could be the turning point for his family after years of struggle. But Claire's dismissive laugh echoed off the marble walls, and the other onlookers, prospective buyers in their designer clothes, turned to stare. John's face burned, and he muttered a polite excuse before stepping outside, the heavy door clicking shut behind him as tears welled in his eyes. John wasn't a stranger to hardship. A widower for 5 years, he had raised his 2 teenage daughters, Emily and Sophie, on a modest income as a high school history teacher in Baton Rouge. His wife, Margaret, had been the breadwinner, a nurse whose sudden illness and passing had left them drowning in medical bills. The mansion Claire had mocked him over wasn't just any property, it was the house Margaret had dreamed of, a sprawling estate with a wraparound porch and a garden where she'd planned to grow roses. Before her death, she had made John promise to give their girls a better life, and he clung to that promise like a lifeline. Recently, an old investment Margaret had made in a small tech startup had unexpectedly paid off, turning into a fortune that John hadn't yet revealed to anyone. He had come to the open house to see if the dream could become reality, but Claire's harsh judgment had shattered his confidence. As he sat on the curb outside, head in his hands, John's phone buzzed. It was Emily, his eldest, calling to check on him. "Dad, are you okay? You sound off," she said, her voice laced with concern. John forced a smile into his voice, telling her he'd be home soon, but the encounter with Claire gnawed at him. He decided to return the next day, determined to prove he belonged. When he arrived, dressed in the same humble suit but with a newfound resolve, Claire recognized him immediately. Her smirk returned as she approached, ready to dismiss him again. But this time, John carried a folder with documents, proof of his newfound wealth and a letter from the bank confirming his ability to purchase the property outright. He handed them to her, his voice steady despite the tremor of emotion. "I'd like to make an offer," he said, meeting her gaze. Claire's confidence faltered as she scanned the papers, her eyes widening with each line. The humiliation she had inflicted now turned inward, her face flushing with a mix of shock and regret. She stammered an apology, but John raised a hand to stop her. "I don't need your pity," he said softly. "I need you to understand that you don't know someone's story by looking at them." The other agents and buyers watched in stunned silence as John walked through the mansion, envisioning Margaret's roses and his daughter's laughter filling the halls. He made the offer, and it was accepted within hours, but the victory felt bittersweet. Claire's words had cut deep, and John couldn't shake the pain of being judged so harshly. Over the next few weeks, as movers brought their belongings into the new home, John faced another challenge. Emily and Sophie struggled to adjust, feeling out of place in the grandeur that surrounded them. Emily, a senior in high school, worried about fitting in with wealthier peers, while Sophie, a shy 14-year-old, missed their old neighborhood. John gathered them in the living room one evening, the setting sun casting a warm glow through the windows. He told them about Margaret's dream, about the promise he'd made, and how the money had come just in time to honor it. Tears streamed down their faces as he shared the story of Claire's humiliation, turning it into a lesson. "People will judge us," he said, "but what matters is what we do with the chances we get." The turning point came when John invited Claire to the housewarming party, an act of forgiveness that stunned her. She arrived nervously, expecting scorn, but found warmth instead. John introduced her to Emily and Sophie, who showed her the garden they were planting with rose bushes in memory of their mother. Claire, moved by their resilience, apologized sincerely, her voice breaking as she admitted her mistake. "I was wrong," she said. "I judged you without knowing, and I'm sorry." John nodded, accepting her apology, and offered her a chance to help with the garden as a way to make amends. Over time, an unlikely friendship blossomed, with Claire becoming a mentor to the girls, teaching them about real estate and life. As months passed, the mansion transformed into a home filled with love and laughter. Emily excelled in school, earning a scholarship to college, while Sophie found her voice in a school play. John watched with pride, knowing Margaret would have been proud too. The experience with Claire, though painful, had taught him and his daughters a powerful lesson about resilience and compassion. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the roses bloom, John turned to his girls. "No matter what anyone says," he said, "you are enough. And together, we can turn any challenge into something beautiful." The message lingered in the air, a testament to their strength and a reminder that true wealth lies in the heart, not the wallet. For anyone watching their journey, it was an inspiring call to rise above judgment and build a life of purpose, no matter the odds.